Well, I got some excellent condition snow tires for the car. I got to get another pair though for the front, but I want to get these on the rims and put new valves on it. But the way I'm going to clean up these rims, I'm not going to go nuts with them. You know, I'm going to get all the rust even around here with the wire brush on a drill. But I'm just going to actually clean this up really good with not even using a pressure washer. It's not this stuff. It's actually some stuff called Awesome Cleaner, a hose and a brush. And this stuff actually really breaks down the grease and the dirt. And if there's any light rust on the rims on the inside, what it's going to get is a coat of this rust reformer from Rust-Oleum. It's good. It instantly converts rust into protected paintable surface. So in other words, it's ready. It's like a primer and a rust converter in one. So if you got some light rust, hey, it takes care of it. Then I'll just go over it with some regular gloss enamel, nothing fancy. Because I got the hubcaps for it and all that kind of crap, and the right lug nuts that hold those factory style hubcaps in. But let's get this rim cleaned up. That's the cleaner I'm actually using. This stuff, man, I get this at the dollar store by the gallon. It's not an advertisement, but I try to find the best stuff for the best money, the cheapest money that works the best. Man, that stuff beats everything out there. Awesome, you know. Use it for engine parts. Well, my brush, I had it on it. Here's a little handy tip too. You see, I have it on this long handle. I got to cut this off of here so I can use it because I was cleaning something that was hard to reach. That's not a bad tip, man. You got to use these brushes way high up, and you don't have enough ladder. Just stick this on a 10-foot freaking broom handle or 8-foot broom handle, and stick it on here with what do you call it? Monster tape, Gorilla tape. That's what it is, Gorilla tape. And there's a little light surface rust on here, but like I said, that stuff will convert it. It doesn't just cover it up. It actually chemically cleans it. I mean, it actually chemically converts it. This Awesome stuff, though, pretty much does chemically clean pretty damn well, because that's why I like it. It's very thorough. It's very thorough. I'm also going to pull this off. Let's just pull this off with the vice grips. And these, the way you knock these out, these, what do you call it? Let me get this damn thing over here. Yeah, right there. The way you knock those out, just take a big screwdriver right here, tap it with your S-wing hammer. I used the S-wing sledgehammer. It pops them right off. It's the same way they go on. They just tap them on from the top, and I can actually reuse those when I go to rebalance these. And as far as the tire valves, I just pull them off with the vice grips, and then, you just tap out the inside. Well, I'll get that when I put the camera down. I just push this out and go right through. And then we'll be ready to put the other valve on, which goes on easy. A pain in the ass doing anything one hand. But yeah, if you got it outside the rubber, it should go through. Anyway, I'll get it. And a quick way to dry it off, you can use the leaf blower too. I use the compressed air with the air compressor. Should be pretty good for sticking on paint. Now, as far as this edge, and get this rust off of here, because I'm not going to paint over that. I could, probably wouldn't hurt it. Because the seal is actually right in here, not on that, but I'm going to get this rust off. It don't take long. Actually, I did bust off some of the rust because I didn't like it. Was a little too heavy on the surface. So, and also to kind of like roughen up the paint a little bit, use that wire wheel. Now, of course, that makes it a little bit dirty again. So what I do is I take starting fluid. I say it's flammable. So is anything else that you use to clean the shit off with. Just a little bit of that, and I'm not using any kind of like tack rag or anything like that. Just a paper towel. Just to help it, stick a little bit better. There's a wheel cover going over this thing too. It's not. If I was going to do this for a wheel that was showing, I would do it a little bit better, but this is still not bad. And there's still a little moisture on the bottom, but get that off because starting fluid will dry it up real quick. And get ready to throw some rust killing primer on this shit really right now. Blow it off with some air. You know, the starting fluid's pretty good because even though it says it's got upper cylinder lubricant in it, it's so freaking minor, it's ridiculous. And sometimes if you want to get in these cracks and stuff like that, you can't clean it that good. If you're spraying that starting fluid in there and you hit it with the compressed air, hey, maybe you didn't get it sanded good, but you sure got it chemically cleaned. So, and sometimes the paint chemically melts into the old paint and it really sticks anyway, really good. And this is where it pays to save your old cardboard. This was actually from the water heater. I figured I'd use it for something. I was going to use it for this anyway. Get around here. This is the rust killing primer shit, which goes over bare metal too, you know. And get inside here. I did go over this a little bit, the wire brush, because I wanted to knock down those, you could tell like when the paint's going over, it's nice and smooth. I knocked down the little rust bumps, whatever you want to call those things. Rust bumps. So this should stick good. This should stick good. And you know, it's chemically clean. It's been cleaned. It's been basically sanded, and it's been chemically cleaned again with, you know, after the awesome and stuff. The starting fluid. I never had anything not stick with that. If I did a little bit of a sand job and that starting fluid, paint stays on there for years and years and years. So. Unique tip. Anyway, it's gonna look pretty. So I gotta wait for it to dry though before I put the damn freaking you know, next the top coat on it and then put the rim on it. I mean the tire on the rim. And then you can see this rim is a lot more rusty than the other one, surface rust. But I'm gonna bust the rust off it before I take the tire off because the tire's got some weight and it'll keep the rim from spinning while I'm using this thing. Actually. This is the old style with the wire brush. See? And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to have the rusty metal primer, but I can tell you right now that's a good surface, so this will only take a few minutes to do. Next thing is to take out the tire valve. You got this little tool here. It's pretty neat. Just, you know, it's got a reamer, rethreader, and all this bullshit on it. Like, but basically, you only use it to take out the core of the valve. A lot of times I put a little WD-40 on there to keep rust out. It's usually the only reason these things get screwed up sometimes, but probably ain't necessary. There we go. So, now we can get the tire off. Well, I got the bead breakers all set up. What I like to do is press down on it a little bit and then tap it forward so it, you know, it grips all the way, because sometimes it slips out that way, but these are going to be easier probably because they're standard rims. Yeah. Okay. There you go. They broke loose. They broke loose, so no problem. So I'll make sure, you know, break the other side and we'll get it up on here and we'll pull it off the rim. Meantime, I already painted this with a coat of top coat enamel. Got to let it dry. It'll look like new, and put a tire valve in there too after it dries. Now, on the tire removal tool, I'll just tell you a couple quick tips. This bead, you notice it's best to press this down because you got more room for the tire to go forward that way to get this up under here. There's just a little, you know, thing that sits in here underneath the tire. So when you're going down to get into it, if you have the tire forward this way in that direction, because you press this down, there's more room to go that way. Makes it easier. The other thing I like to do, and it's not necessarily always needed, but I find when I might spray a little lube up on here too sometimes, because if it's really difficult, because this is a manual tire changer, and this thing sometimes will spin or slip off, and sometimes I like putting the vice grips on here to keep this from spinning, but it might not be the case with this. It'll probably come right off. It's a little tire and it's just a freaking steel rim, nothing special, and it hasn't been rusted and petrified. And you can see this one's pretty easy because it's, you know, it's a small tire and it's you know, just goes right around. Okay, so it's off. Yeah, this wasn't too hard. Then I guess you get the other side, do the same thing, start cleaning up the rim, probably put this one on the side and let it dry, and we'll install it, all that stuff. Okay, so the rim's off the tire. Probably throw that tire in the back. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, you know, I'm not gonna put no link on where to buy this or nothing. I think I got it on Amazon or some shit. I don't even know what the hell the vendor was, but you know what? Instead of buying people stupid Christmas gifts that they don't use, and it depends on who the person is, this might not be a bad Christmas gift. I don't know. I think it was what, $100? Paid for itself many times over. I can tell you that right now. And I just got some wood on here to kind of hold it together. And it's, I put, you know, if you actually have it nailed down, it's actually easier if you have it screwed into cement or something. But I figured to tell you, I just say that it's not a commercial, but this thing's been very, very practical. So instead of buying something stupid, maybe this would be stupid depending on who the person is. They don't want to use something like this, but I found it to be very, very handy. And by the way, I'm going to mention it right now in this video. You know what I'm going to do with some of these old tires? You know, those old Chinese boots that have crappy soles in them that wear out real fast? You're getting retreaded with these things, man. Something. That's what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to retread them with the special glue. I'm going to make sure I'm going to put that on there. It's going to look like they're going to be steel belted soles. How's that? Now to install the rubber tire valve, you screw this on, you pull it up from the top, and that's what this tool is for. You know, you screw that on the top here and you can pull it up. But you want to make sure it's fully seated down here. And you can see it's fully seated. You know what I do? A lot of people use soap. I put some grease. Because sometimes these things are kind of tight. I don't know why, but it's in there. It's in there. It's like it fits in the fits in a little groove. Like when you're looking at this package, you see that groove right there? It's got to fit right in that groove. So, you know, to make sure it's in there fully seated. If it's not, you know, you'd be driving down the road and all of a sudden, it'd be like you had a blowout or something. So make sure it's fully seated. Now this tire is going to go on real easy because I actually pushed it on by hand. I was surprised. I just got to get the other side on. But you hook this around a bead here. But I'm going to tell you one trick I like to do is I put an extremely, you know, some people going to say, oh, don't put grease on a tire, but I put an extremely light coat of marine grade grease. I'm going to say that rots it out, but I don't think it does. Very light coat. Works better than soap. And I don't think I'm going to have a problem with this, but I'm not going to be able to do this one-handed with the camera. But I put the vice grips on here because this can sometimes turn and pop out from the rim. So you want to keep this in line from rotating. That's why I have the vice grips on here. And all you got to do is turn it around and it'll pop on. This one's probably going to be very easy. Well, this one was very easy. Sometimes they're a real bitch. So I guess, you know, this manual tire changer is great for today's compact cars because with steel rims. If you have mag wheels, sometimes you got to take them off from the front. And if you take them off from the front, I know people don't want to mar the finish on them. That is why I have Monster tape wrapped around here. That's another thing you can do. So I'm telling you a couple little handy tips besides just how to use this tool. You notice I didn't even have this tightened down really good, so this was an easy one. Now here, before you fill it up with air, you want to take out that core on your tire valve again. Reason is because you want to get enough air in there fast enough to get the bead going. And you notice on here I got tape wrapped around it. It's probably not that good the way the tape is, but so this fits in the end there, so I can really go full tank pressure And you make sure you keep your fingers away from this shit. Ooh, you want to do that. Well, this tire proved to be hard to seat the bead. It's the right size tire. It's a stock rim. You know, it's a 195 or 160. What the hell is this damn thing? It's a 195 65 15 Chevy Cavalier. But to get it on, I actually had to use a trucker strap, a couple pieces of wood to kind of push down on the center, tighten it down, and that worked. You might have to do something like that, actually. Who the hell knows? But kind of unexpected. Usually they just pop right on, but didn't pop right on. Right size tire and everything. If you have a tire that has a wide rim, and you're trying to put a smaller tire on, you can probably get it on like that, possibly too. That's another little quick tip. Strap with a couple pieces of wood. See, right there and right there. So anyway, let me get this thing, get the tire valve in there and filled up with air, and we'll get it balanced. I don't know if that comes out, but you can see the bubble is off, and we got to put a couple. I'm just going to use the 2 weights and stick them over here. It's going to get it pretty close. It's a lot closer than no weights. And just tap these babies on. Yeah, it's pretty close. Not too bad. It's going on the rear. And just call it like that. Might have some other stick-on weights I can stick on here, but that should be alright. Yeah, excuse me, it only needed the 1 weight. It was that should be pretty good. It's going on the rear, so we'll see how it is. Should be alright. I got other stick-on weights too. They're pretty easy to put on, but I'll show you what they are, because I save these weights, these ones. You know, I make sure when they come off, I can just tap them on with a hammer again. Bop, bop, bop. Yeah, these are the other weights I put on. These are good if you got mag wheels and you can't like hammer them on. They just stick on. I got them from Jags. They're pretty good. I put them on a C-ring. You stick them on the inside and they hold on. They're good. Even if the adhesive doesn't hold, there's other stuff you can glue them on with, but the adhesive does work. It does work. So these are a nice little trick too. Very easy to work with.